Have you ever felt trapped in what everyone calls the perfect job, while your soul screams at you to chase something bigger? Picture this. It's 1994 and there's this Wall Street executive sitting in his corner office, staring at a computer screen about to change his life forever. He's looking at internet usage statistics that would blow your mind. 2,300% growth in just 1 year. Let that sink in. When was the last time you witnessed an opportunity this explosive? Jeff Bezos couldn't sleep that night because those numbers were haunting his thoughts like a drumbeat. He knew he had to act, but here's the shocking part. Everyone around him thought he was completely insane for considering it. His boss at D.E. Shaw told him to think about it over the weekend before making any decisions. Can you imagine the terror of walking away from a seven-figure Wall Street career just to sell books online? But Jeff possessed something that separates dreamers from doers. He had the raw courage to bet everything on himself and his vision. He developed his regret minimization framework, and this concept became the foundation of one of history's greatest empires. Picture yourself at 80 years old, looking back across the decades. Which decision would haunt you more? Trying something extraordinary and failing, or never trying at all? That question changed everything about how Jeff saw his future. Jeff packed his life into boxes, kissed his stable income goodbye, and drove west toward Seattle with nothing but hope. Mackenzie was driving while Jeff frantically typed his business plan in the passenger seat. Can you feel that mixture of excitement and terror as you imagine that moment? They had no idea they were about to change how the entire world shops. Everyone talks about the legendary garage, but let me paint the real picture of those early days. It wasn't some romantic startup fantasy with perfect lighting and inspiring music. Jeff was sitting on cold concrete floors, packing books with his hands until his fingers were raw and bleeding. His knees were bruised from crawling around those floors for hours, searching for books to fulfill orders. The space was so cramped that when he bought his first desk, it was too big. So what did this future billionaire do? He grabbed a saw and cut off the legs himself, sweating in that garage. That makeshift desk became Amazon's first conference table, where million-dollar decisions would be made. The man who would become one of Earth's richest. People was sawing furniture legs in a garage. But here's what separated Jeff from every other entrepreneur. During the dot-com boom, he obsessed over customer experience from day one, treating every customer like the most important person alive. While other stores took weeks to ship, Jeff personally drove packages to the post office in his Honda Accord. He spent countless hours testing the website, clicking every button, checking every page. His attention to detail was borderline obsessive, but customers noticed this extraordinary care. Amazon's first sale came on July 3, 1995. A book called Fluid Concepts and Creative Analogies sold to John Wainwright. Jeff was so excited he personally packed that book with his own hands. But here's what gives me chills every time I think about it. Jeff knew from the beginning this wasn't just about books. He told his first employees that Amazon would eventually sell everything imaginable. They looked at him like he'd lost his mind completely. Everything? How do you sell everything to everyone? Jeff had a vision that seemed impossible, defying all logic and business wisdom. He wanted to build Earth's most customer-centric company, not just for books but for everything. The growth was mind-blowing and defied every expert prediction, from $0 to $500,000 in revenue in just 1 year. But Jeff wasn't satisfied because he was obsessed with the long game. While Wall Street screamed for profits, Jeff reinvested every penny into expansion. Every dollar went back into customer experience, inventory, and better technology. People called him reckless. Analysts said he was burning money like a madman. Jeff didn't care because he knew something they didn't understand. He was building the infrastructure for the future of commerce. Then the dot-com crash of 2000 hit Amazon like a sledgehammer. Stock price dropped 94%, wiping out billions overnight. 94%. Imagine watching your life's work lose almost all value. Employees were leaving. Investors were panicking. Media declared Amazon dead. But Jeff made the most counterintuitive decision in business history and doubled down. While competitors closed doors, Amazon expanded into new markets. They launched Amazon Web Services, which became more profitable than retail. They introduced Prime membership, revolutionizing shipping expectations. They revolutionized logistics, making next-day delivery seem like magic. Jeff turned Amazon's biggest weakness into its greatest strength. Critics said they lost money on every sale and would never profit. Jeff replied they were investing in customer loyalty and market dominance, and he was absolutely right about this strategy. Today, Amazon generates over $400 billion annually. $400 billion from a company that started with a man sawing desk legs. Jeff didn't just build a business, he created something transcending commerce. He created a new way of living affecting billions daily. When you order at 10 p.m. and it arrives next morning, that's not magic. That's 27 years of obsessive customer focus and relentless innovation. But here's the most incredible part most people never hear. Jeff didn't stop at retail, he aimed his billions at the stars. Literally, not metaphorically. Blue Origin isn't just expensive space tourism for the wealthy. It's Jeff's vision for making space accessible to future generations. Jeff believes our children will live and work in space. Colonies, mining asteroids. That's the thinking that builds empires lasting centuries. So what can we learn from Jeff's incredible journey from Wall Street to global domination? First, opportunity favors the prepared mind actively seeking change. Jeff recognized the internet boom because he paid attention to emerging trends. Second, customer obsession beats competition every time without exception. While others focused on short-term profits, Jeff focused on long-term customer service. Third, think in decades, not quarters. Jeff played the longest game in business history, sacrificing short-term gains for dominance. Finally, regret minimization beats fear when making life-changing decisions. Most people's biggest regret isn't what they tried and failed at. It's what they never had courage to try at all. Jeff proved one person with a crazy idea can change the world. From a garage in Bellevue to global domination across multiple industries. From packing books by hand to revolutionizing how billions shop and live. The question burning in your mind should be, what's your crazy idea that could change everything? What keeps you awake with excitement and terror? The next Jeff Bezos is watching this video right now. Maybe that's you. Hit subscribe if this story inspired you to think bigger. Remember, every empire started with a single step into the unknown. What will yours be?